You're not afraid of success, so don't fear blooming. You're afraid of who success will require you to release. And that's honest, because blooming looks beautiful from the outside, but from the inside, it feels like loss. This is soft authority. Let's get into it. People romanticize growth. They post the glow up, they celebrate the elevation, they applaud the outcome. But no one talks about the shedding. When a flower blooms, the bud disappears. No one mourns the bud, but the bud is gone. And that's what you're feeling. You're not scared of becoming powerful. You're grieving the version of you that survived. The version that stayed quiet to keep peace. The version that over-explained to avoid conflict. The version that shrank so others wouldn't feel intimidated. That version kept you safe. But safety and destiny are not the same thing. Blooming feels like arrogance when you're used to minimizing yourself. It feels loud when you trained yourself to be small. But there's a difference between arrogance and alignment. Arrogance says, I'm better. Alignment says, I'm not available for less. Soft authority doesn't shout. It simply stops negotiating its worth. And when you stop negotiating, people feel it. You become less explainable, less adjustable, less accessible to what no longer fits. And that shift makes people uncomfortable because they benefited from the smaller version of you. Let's go deeper. You don't just fear blooming, you fear visibility. When you bloom, you will be seen. Seen means elevated. Seen means misunderstood. Seen means projected onto. And you already know what it feels like to be misread. So you hesitate. You tell yourself you're being humble. You tell yourself you're being patient. You tell yourself it's not time yet. But sometimes it's not humility. It's hesitation. Sometimes it's not wisdom. It's fear of standing in the fullness of what God placed in you. Think about the 5 loaves and 2 fish. The disciples saw limitation. Jesus saw multiplication. Same resources, different perspective. Blooming is multiplication. You are not becoming someone else. You are expanding what was already always there. And multiplication draws attention. It stretches capacity. It shifts environments. It changes how people relate to you. That's why it feels isolating. But isolation is not abandonment, it's refinement. You are being refined for rooms you haven't entered yet. And the old version of you can't sit at those tables, not because she wasn't worth it, but because she was surviving. And this season requires you to build. And here's the truth. You don't fear blooming. You fear losing the identity that got you here. But growth always costs an old version of you. And that is not betrayal. That is evolution. You are allowed to evolve without becoming arrogant, without becoming loud, without becoming someone you don't recognize. Soft authority blooms quietly. It doesn't beg to be understood. It doesn't chase validation. It doesn't argue its presence. It stands calm, clear, certain. So don't fear blooming. Fear staying small when you know you are expanding. Soft does not mean small. Stay aligned and don't give up.